In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most important components of your application, your personal statement. In 2024, standing out is more important than ever, and today I'll be sharing tips with you on how to craft your personal statement so that it reflects truly who you are and shows exactly what you're bringing to the table. Whether you're applying to a master's program or a PhD program, I've got you covered with insights that can make all the difference. So grab a pen and paper and let's get started on creating the perfect personal statement that will get you in. Hi, I'm Philippe Barr. I'm a graduate school admissions consultant and I help people get admitted into their dream grad programs. So when we talk about personal statement for graduate applications, it can be quite confusing because the term personal statement can mean different things depending on where you are applying. In some cases, the term personal statement is synonym with statement of purpose, while for other programs, the personal statement is something different altogether. So as you approach graduate school applications, it's really important for you to pay attention to the detail and make sure, especially if you're applying to a few different programs, that you will be submitting the right essay to the right program. You should definitely take a close look at the prompts that are provided by each program to make sure that each essay will answer the right set of questions. You definitely don't want to send the wrong essay to the wrong program because that means instant rejection. So what's the difference between statement of purpose or personal statement depending on what personal statement designates for each school? Well, when we think about the statement of purpose, it's basically an academic or professional roadmap that you provide admissions committees to connect the dots between what you've done in the past and what you want to do in the future, academically or professionally. So in your statement of purpose, you will connect your research, your past research, if you are applying for a graduate program that is research focused, and connect it to what you want to do within the program. So that would be your research projects, your research interest. And finally, it connects it to what you want to do post-graduation. Same thing applies if you're applying to a program that is more professionally focused, like an MBA, for example. And this is where you would connect your previous experience in the professional world, what the program offers you within their curriculum and in terms of activities, and what you want to do post-graduation. If you're applying to a graduate program that requires a personal statement in addition to a statement of purpose, that means that you'll have to come up with an entirely new type of essay. It's going to have to be more personal in nature, which means that it will have to deal with you sharing a bit more about the path that leads you to apply to this graduate program. It can have to do with your own personal challenges that you've had to overcome to get you there. It could be about sharing with admissions committees your own perspective, the perspective that you bring to the table, and how it has been shaped by your own experience. It can also be about your values, what you believe in, and the role that you see the graduate program having in your own personal growth. So as you can see, these two essays can be quite confusing because they both talk about goals. If the personal statement that is required means statement of purpose, then you need to really focus on academic goals and professional goals. When I talk about academic goals, that means what type of courses you'll be taking, who you'd like to work with if you're about to conduct research, what type of extracurricular activities you'd like to partake in, etc., etc. In addition to that, you should be sharing with them what you want to do with your degree. And you should tell them what you want to do post-graduation, so right after you graduate, and in the long term. In both cases, you should definitely mention the type of role that you'd like to have to make it extra concrete, and also tell them where you'd like to work. Keep in mind, right after graduation and in the long term, you should be able to provide them with two job titles, ideal job titles, and two ideal organizations to make things extra concrete for them. If you're having to produce a personal statement in addition to the statement of purpose, then you'll have to talk about a different set of goals. They are, of course, going to be more personal in nature. And this is where you can share how you envision your personal growth. It could be the type of impact that you'd like to have in your line of work, the type of connections that you'd like to make with people. It could be about your own vision of leadership, for example. So as you can see, it's all about talking about your growth on a more personal note And in this instance, you can feel free to be much more personal per se, even in the tone that you will adopt than in your statement of purpose. In general, when we talk about statement of purpose, it should be all about business, very objective. For a personal statement, you can be more subjective there without getting too schmaltzy. You can talk a bit more about your own thoughts and goals and values, etc., etc. So as you can see, the term personal statement can have different types of meanings and refer to specific goals or a specific tone. But there are certain things that you can do, whether the term personal statement means statement of purpose or not, to make sure that your essay is going to be effective. And the first thing to keep in mind is that you should show rather than tell. If it means a statement of purpose and you're passionate about research, it's way better for you to talk about your research specifically then tell your reader, I am passionate about research. It's much more effective to provide them with concrete examples of your passion rather than just talking about it endlessly. If you're applying to a more professionally focused program and you're really interested in working on your leadership, for example, it's more important to show how you'd like to hone these skills in the future within the program than just saying, I am a leader. The same can be said about the personal statement. If your goals are more personal in nature, it's also really important to provide them with concrete examples that could show admissions committees what your beliefs are, what your values are. Talk to them about specific challenges that have shaped your perspective, etc., etc. Stay away from just these bold, blank statements that don't mean anything and provide admissions committees with real life examples of your academic or professional path or your personal experience. By the way, if you are applying to grad school in 2024 and you are feeling overwhelmed with all the different steps that need to be taken before meeting deadlines, I highly encourage you to download the free graduate school application timeline that I came up with that can help you keep track as you move forward with your application. It can be really helpful whether you are applying to an MBA program, a master's program, or a PhD program. You can upload it on your phone or on your computer. The good thing about it is that it is completely free. And I also encourage you to check out the different types of resources that I also offer for free, whether you are applying to a master's degree, an MBA, or a PhD program. Another important step to take if you are working on your personal statement, whatever that personal statement means, is to keep in mind that you need to conduct thorough research about the program and the school. If the personal statement means statement of purpose, it's really important for you to have an in-depth knowledge of all the details associated with the program. That means the curriculum, the professors, the extracurricular activities, the requirements, etc., etc. You want to stay away in your statement of purpose from generalizations saying, oh, the program is great, the faculty is brilliant. Again, you want to provide them with concrete examples and concrete evidence that you know the program very well. If your personal statement means something different than the statement of purpose, it is also a great opportunity for you to conduct more research at large and to go beyond the school or the department and conduct research about what's being done, what is offered around graduate studies at large. It can mean clubs, it can mean organizations, it could be any type of support. It is really important as you write both of these essays, depending if they are needed or not by each program, that you provide them with real examples of how the school or the program will provide you with the tools and the knowledge that you need. Once you've done this research and demonstrated to admissions committees that you know the school and the program really well, the next step is to position yourself the right way. So I've talked about how admissions committees want evidence of your academic abilities and your career goals post-graduation. Another thing that they also want to see when they look at your personal statement, whether it means a statement of purpose or not, is your willingness and your interest in contributing to student life. So it's really important whether the personal statement means personal statement or not for you to provide them with examples of what you are planning to do once you are in the program. And you can do that by identifying specific activities, courses, organizations that you'd like to join, things that you'd like to do on campus, etc., etc. Admissions committees, they do want people with skills, with a great GPA, and with a great notion of where they're going in the future. But they also want people who are going to be vibrant, who are going to be participating in all the activities that take place on campus. They just don't necessarily just want people who are going to sit in classes and get good grades. They want active members of the student community. Think about it. Some master's programs and some PhD programs actively involve graduate students in the recruitment process or various activities that are related to making the program shine at large through conferences, etc., etc. So it's really important in both of these essays, once you tell them why you want to go to this school, what you want to do in the future, that you also tell them how you intend to participate to student life once you are on campus. So whether it means in the program per se or at the university at large, once you've done this homework, clearly identify yourself as an active member of the student body. This is, in my opinion, the best way for you to stand out if you're competing with people who have similar profiles as yours. Speaking of adding an extra personal touch to your personal statement, a good way to do this is to seek out conversations with alumni or current students in the program and to add references to these conversations to your personal statement. I highly encourage you to identify people in the program or in specific organizations that you'd be interested in joining on campus at large, and to have conversations about their own experience in the program, and to use the information that you'll get through these conversations in your personal statement. It is a great way for you to convince admissions committees that you're extra serious about this program. And again, it's a great way for you to beat the competition if you are competing against somebody who might have the same profile as yours. Finally, it might seem like I'm going to be stating the obvious here, but your personal statement should be well written. I know it sounds silly, but I've read my fair share of personal statements that were kind of sloppy, and you definitely don't want that. Keep in mind that your personal statement, whether it means statement of purpose or personal statement, can play a huge role in your admissions. Sometimes it is the first thing that admissions committees look at, and if it's poorly written, they might not even get to look at the rest of your application. So put a lot of time and effort in the writing of your personal statement. It can make a radical difference, not only on admissions, but also it can secure you more money. The more admissions committees are impressed with you and your ability to share your goals, your ambitions, your ideas, etc., the more they will lean into awarding you potentially more money than another person with a statement of purpose that might be a little more basic. In addition, if you are unsure about the quality of your personal statement, I highly encourage you to seek feedback. Sometimes getting an extra set of eyes can point to certain flaws in your essay, and so don't hesitate to seek feedback from a professor, a mentor, or even a professional to make sure that you come up with your best piece of writing. Again, it is going to be the first impression you make on admissions committees, and you want to make the best first impression possible. Well, that's all, folks. I hope this video was helpful in bringing a bit more clarity to what the term personal statement means. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please press the like button or subscribe. I will be providing you with more videos about applying to graduate school throughout the application season. Again, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.